G'day all and welcome back to Freo Faithful today for the preview for tomorrow's clash against Port Adelaide Saturday night footy at Optus Stadium. And this is a game where we have said it so much this season, but it's got to be a game we rock up and win convincingly. Now, most times we've said that, it has been quite the opposite. We've lost a few very, very winnable and a few games where we are clear favourites and we have just completely bottled it. So this is going to be a game where we keep our head in the process and we do the business, because there is absolutely, yet again, no excuses to be losing this game. Now, let's get into the teams because they were announced yesterday. So as you would probably know, we have gone in unchanged for the first time this season. I can't remember if we went in unchanged once last season, but it's great to see continuity for back-to-back weeks in the team. I'm not sure what's up with Nathan O'Driscoll. He was listed as a test, but I don't even think he's playing Peel footy this weekend, so that's going to be an interesting watch. And Sean Darcy, he got through training fine, but JL said on SEN that he didn't pull up incredibly after it. And yeah, it's just a precautious approach. He won't play Peel or AFL footy this weekend. For Port, they have swung the axe. They haven't really swung the axe. It's 4 force changes. So Salva Radigalia is out with a hamstring. Lockie Jones is out with a hamstring. Josh Sinn's out with a hip. And the big one, Jason Horne-Francis, is out with a hamstring. It was hammy galore last Saturday at the Adelaide Oval. I think Geelong did a few too. So yeah, they're outs. They're ins. Brendan Zerk-Thatcher comes back in. Quite a big in. Travis Boak, he played a game in the Samful, tore it up. He's back from injury. Rory Atkins comes in, and it's a debut for Hugh Jackson. Not Wolverine, Hugh Jackson. Injuries. We've still got a few on the list, and as I just mentioned, Sean Darcy and Nathan O'Driscoll were both tests to play this week. Darcy and Noddy both are getting an extra week to get themselves right. I think Darcy might get a bit longer because when he comes back in the side, he is going to have a block where we just need him to get him back to full match fitness. Nat Fyfe and Sam Sturt, they've both had their timelines shaven down to 1 week, so they're not far away from footy. They're both going to play Peel before they come back, definitely. And I love the makeup whenever we have Sam Stern in our forward line. So excited to get him back. And then Fifey, he'll play Waffle. And then it's up to JL to decide whether he is best 22 for us. And at the moment, I'd probably say he is. O'Meara, he's 3 weeks away. Quinton Narkle, 7 weeks away. Walker still 8 weeks away. We're only 3 weeks away from getting Sonny back into some footy. And Youngie, 10 weeks, as we know, the long-termer. For Port, they're missing a few important guys. So Kane Farrell, he went down in the showdown. He'll miss. He's one of their main ball users off halfback. Jason Horne-Francis, as we already know. Lockie Jones, as we already know. Radigalia, as we know. Josh Sin, as we know. And then 2 big key guys that, I mean, particularly Jack Lukosius, who hasn't even played a game for Port yet. And Todd Marshall, who's a long-termer. So, yeah, they're missing a few guys as well. Our entry list is big, but so is theirs. Now, keys to win this game. We don't have a good track record against Port. We've beaten them twice since 2019. The last time we beat them away from home was at Amy Stadium back in 2012. So we have a terrible track record away from home against them. But this one's at home. Last time we beat them was 2023, I want to say. No, 2022 we beat Port at Optus. Yeah, not many memories from that game, to be honest. Quite a forgettable one, but we just don't seem to win against them. Last time we met, obviously, was last round of last year. We had to win to play finals. We had that Carlton Saints game on the same day. It was a big day, and we ended up bottling it. And then that other Port game last year was the heartbreaker at the Adelaide Oval, where we had the game under control, and they went and stole the game off us. So look, definite banana peel. They're not a walkover despite sitting in the bottom 4. So it's going to be an interesting one. One thing we have to do is we have to bring the same intensity as last week. So every time there's been a so-called turning point for the Dockers this season, we tend to crumble. So after 3 wins in a row against the Eagles, the Tigers, and the Dogs, we lost to the 0-5 Melbourne Football Club. And after a pressure-driven win, we brought great intensity for 3 quarters, ended up winning the game against a really strong Crows outfit. We got pantsed by 10 goals by the Saints the following week. So we just have to make sure we bring this consistency week upon week now, because that was our first 4-quarter performance of the season. JL didn't tend to agree. He said on SEN that he didn't think that was a 4-quarter performance, which, you know, if the coach thinks there's still more we can improve on after a really convincing win away at the Giants, then I'm happy with that. So I thought that was a four-quarter performance. I think most of the fans did. We've got to put in another one of those if we want to beat the Power. And yeah, the intensity must be high, and we have to bring pressure to a team who historically perform very, very well under the pump. They are no walkover. They are a banana peel, and we cannot take them lightly. Now, a quick Freo is a winning Freo. So if you take your mind back to the Collingwood game, we came off the Saints game. That Saints game, I can't even analyse. It was that bad. But against Collingwood, we won that inside 50 count by 29. Like, historic contest numbers. You don't win a game, or you don't win a contest by that much in the numbers. And that being said, and the fact it was against the best team in the comp is astounding. But we played slow and pragmatically. So if we won the contest, we ended up bombing it inside 50, and Billy Frampton has a day out. He'd crunch it up, or Maynard would crunch it up. But one of their backs would just clean up our bomb inside 50 entries. And even when we got the ball from the back half, we tended to just move it slowly and ended up bombing it long, and there was no movement from our key forwards. It was a hard watch considering the clearance domination we had and the inside 50 domination we had. But against the Giants, we only had plus 11 inside 50s. But the ball movement going forward was so efficient and quick, which led to great forward 50 entries. We used the ball really well out of the middle. Bolton, Brayshaw, Sarong, Erasmus Johnson, whoever went through there, used the ball efficiently and worked together really cooperatively. You had the halfback runners and ball users in Jordan Clark and Cooper Simpson, who played their role fantastically. So my takeaway from last week was a quick Freo is a winning Freo, and joining in with my last point, we have to bring the same footy we did last week because we are struggling this year to back up our really good performances week upon week. So we have to do that. It can't be something we hide away from in a way. We have to stretch their key backs as well. That's another thing I was looking at. In the Oppo view, Drews and Anthony were discussing how their key backs sort of tend to guard space as opposed to being particularly strong one-on-one. So Brandon Zerk-Thatcher's back in the team this week, and Aliir hasn't had the strongest season. We know how good Aliir is at his best, but he just, for some reason, hasn't gone up to those heights this year. Now, the way they play as a back unit absolutely plays into the hands of our key forwards. So, Jai Amos, we know, he really struggles when getting clamped by his opponent. So his first year, I'd say 2023 was his first year where he had a lot of, or a consistent run of games. He had freedom and he wasn't getting clamped by the opposition's best key forward, and he had a really good year. 2024, however, it was the resurgence or the breakout of Josh Tracy, and Jai Amos was getting clamped by the best key defender each week, and he really struggled to break away from that. And this year, not the same thing, but he's getting clamped week upon week, and he's struggling to create space. So I think the way they set up, it's going to play into Jai Amos's hands. And then Pat Voss and Josh Tracy love exploding into space, love exploding off their opponent, and that's going to play into their hands as well. So I think our key forwards can really stretch them, and I think Vossi, JT, Jai, if Luke Jackson goes through there, if Bailey Banfield plays, I think it's going to play into their advantage. And our smalls are going to also be a crucial factor. So it's going to be wet weather, most likely. So what I just explained could just be a complete write-off if the game is too wet to actually get the ball into our key forwards' hands, which means we have to be smart about the way we move the ball to get it forward. And if our tools are struggling to get their mitts to it, it'll be up to the Switters and the Murphy Reeds and the Freddies and the Boltons to get the job done at ground level, because we know how stupid we are when we play wet weather footy. It's been a consistent theme of us the past few years, and we have to fix that. And our smalls have to get to work on Saturday night if we want to win this game of footy. My tip, Fremantle by 37 points. It's yet again a game where we should rock up, do the business by a big margin, but a lot of the time where a lot of people, and myself included, tip Freo by a big margin, we end up just coming undone. So we have to do something about that inconsistency, and if we rock up, get our second straight win, and ahead of Gold Coast next week, and ahead of the bye, then it puts us in a good position. We'll likely be in the 8, we'll be 6-5, and we can attack the second half of the season really strongly. So, look, that's my tip. That's how I think we win this game. Let me know how you think the game's going to go and how you think we win the game down in the comments. Drews will be hosting the fan camps tomorrow night. It'll be a late night, Saturday night one. If you want to come and give your thoughts on the game. Keep on top of all the socials, the Instagram, the YouTube, for any updates and anything surrounding this game and the Suns game next week. Thanks all for watching. Up the Dockers. See you later.